Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vanessa if you are new here. Now in this video, we are going to be going over some of the books that I have accumulated over the past few years of my studies of Catholic apologetics, and I want to share them all with you. So I have accumulated probably over 300 books, so this video is going to be done in parts. When I originally started this YouTube channel, I started the YouTube channel talking about all of my Catholic books. So I think it's really nice to come full circle and show you guys my favorite Catholic books that I have. And the reason why I say favorite is that I have actually gotten rid of a lot of books from my bookshelf lately. So the books that I have on hand, I hold near and dear to my heart. I also want to say one more note. I am moving in the next month. And so this means that I'm going to have to put some books away in storage and keep some books out for my studies. I'm currently on my second semester studying for my master's in general studies of theology. So I'm going to be showing you guys throughout the past month of what books I'm putting away and what books I'm keeping. But that will be in a different video. This video, we're just going to be going through 10 books that I have on my Catholic bookshelf, and the rest of the videos will follow. But if you guys want to know what books I have, then just keep on watching. I have them in this bag because right now I am switching from my office to my home. I recently just left a position at a Catholic church, and this is where I've accumulated a lot of my books. I actually had one of my coworkers who is a deacon and his wife, and they have given me a bunch of books once they found out that I have a love for theology. So a lot of these books came from there. A lot of books came from the store. A lot of books came from like my own personal collection that I had in the past. So if you see some redos, just keep in mind that there will be some redos because we're going over my entire Catholic bookshelf. So these books are in no particular order, they're just what are the closest to me. So the first book we're going to look at is called Elements of Biblical Exegesis. This is by Michael J. Gorman. Now, this book I love having on hand. Last semester, I took a class on the Synoptic Gospels where we talked a lot about biblical exegesis. And so it was so nice to have this book as a handy reference when talking about biblical exegesis. Now, this doesn't dive like too deep into like what certain passages mean, but it does talk about biblical exegesis as itself, as its own topic, and how to talk about it, how there's different ways of talking about it and examining the Bible. So this one was a really cool one to add to my bookshelf. Next book I have, actually I have 5 copies of this. This is Absolute Relativism by Chris Steinfek. This book was actually donated to me by the Catholic Answers crew when I went over to the Catholic Answers conference. I had mentioned that I was teaching confirmation class and I was asking what book should I recommend to my students. So they gave me 5 copies of this and I took one for myself because I wanted to read it. So this is on my Catholic bookshelf. The next book I have is one that I think that everyone that's getting into Catholicism or Catholic apologetics on a higher studying level definitely needs on their bookshelf. This book and any book by this author is so fruitful in the discussion about the Catholic faith and about Christianity, and that is Jesus of Nazareth by Joseph Ratzinger. Like I mentioned, any book by Joseph Ratzinger is honestly mind-blowing. He brings in perspectives that I had never even considered. Like I have such a greater understanding of the life of Christ, especially from the Jesus of Nazareth series. So this series version is from Holy Week, from the entrance into Jerusalem to the resurrection. I own every book in this series, so we'll see them over time in these videos. But this book is so handy to have on your bookshelf. I actually have around 3 copies of this because I was taking notes, like overwhelming the book, that I had to pick up various copies of this. So this is one of my favorites. The next book I have is called Virginity, A Positive Approach to Celibacy for the Sake of the Kingdom of Heaven. Now, this book is a new addition to my bookshelf. If you guys know anything about me, I'm a really history-based person. I love talking about facts. I very rarely talk about, the woman's role in the marriage or in life. Like I don't really talk much about celibacy or, a woman's vocation. I just talk a lot about Catholic apologetics, but understand that this is an area that a lot of people, especially myself, want to touch base on, and especially since I am a female and a lot of people try to remove the credit of me because I am a female when talking about the Catholic faith or talking about apologetics. So if one day, if I never get invited on to any Catholic radio station because I'm a female and I can't really talk about the faith, I may go the route to talking about celibacy and virginity. And so this book will probably come in handy. I have a video talking about why I'm waiting till marriage. So I don't need this book for me, but it'll be nice in my own reference. The next book I have is called God's Word to Israel. This book is just going to be great for any form of reference, like talking about the Old Testament and understanding the Old Testament and the archaeological studies of it. So I did use this book in my last semester when I was talking about the Synoptic Gospels. We were prompted to choose a passage from the Synoptic Gospels and discuss it. And I chose when Christ is on the cross and he goes, my God, why have you forsaken me?" which comes from Psalms. So I chose that. And so I use this book in reference because it is the cries of Israel that he is saying. If you guys want to read that paper, please let me know. I'm going to see if I'm able to publish it so that you guys can read my insight on the topic. It was one of my favorite papers to write. I don't know if I hit the topic exactly as to what the professor had wanted in the paper, but overall I was super happy with the paper I produced. So if you guys are interested in reading that, please hit this video with a like, and so then I'll know that you guys want to read it. The next book I have is a textbook from last year, or last semester, my bad. Leisure, the Basis of Culture by Joseph Piper, and it talks about the word leisure. And we didn't really dive into this book until the end of the semester, and I'm kind of sad that I didn't read about it earlier in the semester because it gave me such a new perspective to the word leisure. When I thought of the word leisure, I thought of it leisurely, moving, not moving with force or almost not being proactive. But then when we actually learn about the word leisure in the context of God and philosophy, we understand it's calm and slow moving, and that you have confidence in what you're doing so you can leisurely move. And so this book was really interesting to read at the end of my semester. This has to do more with philosophy, which is one of the topics that is so hard for me. And I was so excited that I had passed my philosophy class with an A last semester. And I was like, never again am I taking another philosophy course, just to find out that I enrolled myself in 2 more philosophy courses this next semester. So I was going to say I'm going to become a philosophojogen, but I'm like, that's not a word, Vanessa. It's hard. All my courses are online, so I'm not engaging with people in conversation. So now I'm literally just reading words on a computer screen. And so if I say words wrong, just know it's because I'm talking to the computer, and the computer autocorrects me anyway, so I just don't have that to tell me, hey, philosophojogen is not a word. Or is it? No, I'm sure it's not. The next book is one that I've had for years. It's called Matthew, Mark, Luke, and You, Unraveling the Gospels, William O. Maley. Now, I enjoyed this book, having it on my bookshelf, especially this semester when I was talking about the Synoptic Gospels, because there's so many people that bring such commentary to the Synoptic Gospels, just about them in generally, or just the Gospels in general, and about where they play a role in our life, how we can examine it through biblical exegesis, or how we're supposed to examine it just as a regular person reading the Bible. So this book, it was really helpful giving some commentary when I was discussing the Gospels this last semester. The next book I have is Authenticity, A Biblical Theology of Discernment. This is by Thomas Dubay. Oh, that's my grandma's last name. So funny. I mean, I don't know if that's how she spelled it, but that's my grandma's last name, maiden name. I will admit I have not dived into this book, but the first sentence on the back is, most people assume that the way to mend divisions and factions in our world, marriages, parishes, dioceses, religious orders, is to engage in civil discussions, attend local and regional or national meetings, draw up committee reports and recommendations. To point this may help, but sad experience makes it clear that these approaches alone never heal the divisions which plague our civil and ecclesial life. So this will be kind of interesting to read. A Biblical Theology of Discernment. I honestly collected this book because I was like, oh, discernment. I am single. I'm alone. I don't know where I'm going to go in life. I don't know if I will ever find someone that I like. But that's not what it's about. So there is a reason why I collected this book. So I can't wait to read it and use it in my studies. The next book I have is Why We're Pro-Life. This is a book that was released by Catholic Answers. You guys can download a copy of this book. It was written by Trent Horn, and it just talks about why we're pro-life and how to argue it briefly. The last book I have for you guys today is Fundamentals of Catholic Dogma. I own 2 copies of this book. I was given this book and I had spent $70 on this book right before I was given it, but I'm happy I spent the money on the copy that I own, just because this copy that I was given is falling apart. So it's been kind of hard navigating through the book, but it's nice having 2 copies of it. Fundamentals of Catholic Dogma. This is one that I really think people should pick up if they want to talk about God or have a better understanding of the Trinity and God. In our course, we only got through book 1 of this book, which is only this long, and so it is a lot of information and it's a lot to get through, but it really breaks it down in a way that's understanding. Ott does a great job of that. So I really suggest picking up this book if you want to talk about the Trinity, the Holy Spirit, who the persons are, and where they are in relation to one another. It really explains that. I don't think that this book will be utilized in everyday conversation, but if you want to have a greater understanding of the Trinity, this is a book that book 1, that's all I've read so far, is a great read to read. So guys, those are all the books that I'm going to share with you guys in this video today. Be sure to be on the lookout because there are going to be videos following this one about other books that I have on my Catholic bookshelf and why I have them, why I'm reading them, and if I've read them. If you guys have read any of these Catholic books, let me know what you think about them. And if you have any books that you think that I should read, please be sure to comment them down below because I love adding books to my collection. Also, I do want to say, though my parents will probably hate this, if you come across books or you have books in your home and you're like, I want to get rid of them, and you don't know where to give them or don't know where to put them, please, I suggest reaching out to me. I will pay the shipping for them to come to my home. I'll go pick them up from you if I'm in relation, close to you, because I really just love adding books to my library. It has always been a dream of mine since I was a little girl to have a home library, walk into a haunted mansion library, walk into a room and it's books everywhere. That has always been a dream of mine. I've never been a good reader. I struggle from dyslexia. I've had glasses since I was 3. I don't see clearly majority of the time. I also have brain fog and get a bunch of headaches. So I just am not one to seem like she would want to have books, but I love them. So please definitely do send them my way or send me your recommendations because I'd love to add more to my collection. But without further ado, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys all in my next video. Bye-bye.